Hi everyone, it's Sarah Rose here. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. Today I just wanted to chat with you a little bit about intuition, following your intuition. This is something I get a lot of comments about on the survey that I send out and through my website. So I just wanted to take a video about this topic because I feel like there's some interesting things to understand about the concept of resistance and following your intuition and knowing when you're on the right path or not. So, and real quick, before I go any further, I just wanted to state I recently released a high vibe lifestyle guide, which is 30 ways to clean up your energy vibration to become a high vibe lifestyle and manifest artist. So everything that you're creating in your reality is directly tied to the energy vibration that you're offering. And if that interests you, I welcome you to go to my site, again, sarah-rose.net, and download a copy of the free guide, which you can find right there in the menu bar. And it's also accessible through the Self-Healing Toolkit if you signed up for that, or if you want to sign up for that, it's also accessible through the Self-Healing Toolkit as well. So regarding intuition, what I wanted to talk about today was the concept of discerning between resistance and self-sabotage. Resistance being, you may have heard the phrase follow your bliss or follow your joy, and the whole concept behind that is that as long as you're following your bliss, you're on your right path, and when you're not following your joy or following your bliss, you're on the wrong path. You're on the path of greater resistance. So I'd like to just discern between when it's resistance, which is trying to tell you there's an easier way, and when you're just self-sabotaging. So your intuition is something that you can tune in all the time by paying attention to how you feel and paying attention to your emotions, which are the main, it's like your soul GPS. It helps guide you. And when you are forced, when you're working on something or you're making decisions or you're choosing to do something that feels like it's forced, or that you should be doing it because someone else thinks you should, or you think you should, and you're doing it out of obligation, or you're struggling with it, or it seems really hard to, advance in whatever it is that you're doing, and it just feels like a struggle or a headache. Those are signs of resistance. That's a sign from your higher self and your intuition letting you know that, hey, there's another path for you. And that kind of resistance would show up because what you're doing is not your highest and greatest good, and that there's an easier path of less resistance that you might want to consider tapping into. It also could just be the timing is off. So a lot of times it's not the actual thing itself that that you should avoid completely, but maybe it's just bad timing. And I'll share with you a personal story about that towards the end. So that's what your intuition is there to guide you through your feelings, so you can tell when you're on the path and when you're off the path. And so if you can pay attention to your feelings, then you'll be able to stay on the path more often, and that actually raises your vibration as well. So when you're constantly following your, what I call your healing feeling, that that's what we call it in our yoga therapy training course, you're constantly raising your vibration, and because your feelings are a good indicator of what your vibration is offering. And when you're on your path, your highest path, that's the highest form of what you could be offering the universe, and vice versa. So everything's in sync. So that's what that form of resistance is there for you to do, and it comes in the form of gut instincts, feelings, emotions, insights. It comes in the form of an inner knowing. The other form that can sometimes be confused as resistance would be actually self-sabotaging habits that are based on fear-based beliefs. So some examples would, how to tell, there's 3 ways that I think are really good indicators on how to tell if you're self-sabotaging. The first way to know if you're self-sabotaging is if what you're resisting is already in your highest and greatest good, and you know it. That inner knowing is there that it's in your highest and greatest good. So for example, if all you want to do is be really healthy and fit, but you keep resisting eating a healthy diet, and you keep resisting going to the gym or exercising, then that's a form of resistance. You already know one of your big desires is that you want to be healthy, and you know that this is one of the steps that will help you get there, but yet you keep resisting it. That's not the same form of resistance like I spoke about earlier that's trying to lead you down another path. That's a form of self-sabotage. So another example is if you're constantly making excuses of why you can't find time for yourself. If you already know spending time for yourself is in your highest and greatest good, but yet you keep finding ways to stay busy and fill your time with other things, whether it be Facebook or television or whatever it is, and you never get around to just spending some quality time with yourself, and that's something that you desire, then that would be all of the little things that you keep throwing in your path, that you keep to keep you from spending some quality time with yourself and some self-reflection. That would be the form of self-sabotage, and those fall on a fear-based belief of not feeling good enough. So it's a lack of self-love, or a lack of self-nurturing, or a lack of self-worthiness that would be the root of those self-sabotaging habits. So if you already know it's in your highest and greatest good, but you're resisting it anyway. The other way to tell if it's self-sabotage is if it's a pattern that you keep recreating in other areas of your life. So like for the, just like in the past example I shared regarding wanting to get really healthy, if you're sabotaging yourself in multiple different ways, or you're having resistance in multiple different ways that all lead to that same desire that you want, that's a form of self-sabotaging. And you really just have to start to look at the belief structure behind those sabotaging habits to get to the root of those. Mainly you have to bring awareness to it, and so that's part of why I'm shooting this video, is because once you bring awareness to it, then you have conscious choice, and that helps, that starts the process of recreating everything. So the other way is to know if you're self-sabotaging, if it's very clear that it's blocking your highest desire, if it's blocking what you truly want to achieve. And so then you'll know that that's a form of self-sabotaging, not just your regular resistance that you would feel if you're on the wrong path. So those are 3 ways to discern when you're self-sabotaging versus just feeling regular resistance that your intuition is telling you. And so I'll share a quick example of both of those. One, the regular resistance that you feel when it's just not the right thing to be doing, and that there's another path to follow. And a good example for me that I can share is, recently I started working on my book, and I've been wanting to put out my book for a long time, but recently it's become more of a struggle. It's been, and so first I question, okay, is this me self-sabotaging, or is this just generally, not where I need to be right now? And so I have, this course that I'm working on that also ties in with the book, and vice versa. And every time I work on my book, I get this feeling of, I won't say it's as strong as dread, but it's not fun, it's not light, it's not exciting, it's not uplifting, it's not invigorating, it's not all of those things, it's not passion, it's not, I'm doing it because I feel like I need to do it, because I want to stick to a deadline, because I have a goal to meet, I want to have it, published by a certain date. All of my, ego tendencies are popping up with, why I should be finishing this book. I already started it, I'm coming up with all of the different excuses of why I should keep going and working on this book, even though when I sit down to work on it, it's not a joyful experience. Yet when I work on my course, the creative insight is like exploding. I can't even harness the energy completely. The ideas are flowing out of me, and it's very uplifting and inspiring. I can't stop talking about it to people. The more I talk about it, the more it brings more clarity to the project. It makes perfect sense for me. So that right there is a good example that I need to be focused on my course right now. And it's not necessarily saying that the book is not something for me to work on ever. It's just showing me right now that for right now I can shelve the book. I don't have to feel guilty about shelving the book. I can shelve the book because it's not fulfilling my highest path right now, and I intuitively know that based on tuning in to how I feel and the emotions that I'm feeling when I'm working on those 2 projects. So I literally ask my higher self, which is the higher path for me right now, and it comes back with a resounding work on your course every single time. It's that gut feeling, it's that inner knowing, and it's the emotions and the feelings that I'm experiencing. So for me, that doesn't mean the book is not a good option for me. It just means right now the timing is off. So I'm going to shelve it, and I'm not going to feel guilty about shelving or let my ego get in the way telling me I have to do something and finish the project that I started. No, I'm not inspired to finish that project right now, so I'm going to shelve it, and I'm going to wait until the inspiration is back, and I'm just going to follow my gut instinct. So that's one example of feeling resistance and tuning into when you're on the wrong path and being able to choose a different option. The self-sabotaging efforts, a good example for me would be shooting this video, actually. One of my biggest desires was to be able to take my blog and my writing and get it into the video space and be able to connect with you on a more intimate level and be able to share conversations like this. I wanted to take my blog to the next level, and not just written word, but also, you know, speak in front of the camera to you guys so that I could, you know, communicate on a much deeper level. And it scared me, and I froze in front of the camera and had to practice a lot, and my first videos are horrendous. You can see them on YouTube, but I knew that that was not resistance, just standard resistance trying to detour me, because it was something that was standing immediately in my way from achieving my highest desire at that point, which was to expand my wellness blog and expand the way I'm able to communicate and connect with people. The greatest desires a lot of times will be hidden behind fear, and that will first show up as resistance. So I was resistant to doing videos, even though it's something that I really wanted to do, even though I had ideas about what I wanted to talk about, and even though it was like I knew I had to go there. I knew I needed to get doing videos on a more regular basis, but I would procrastinate. I would nitpick it to death and want the videos to be perfect before I would release them, which would stall the videos coming out, and all sorts of excuses in the book of why I wasn't able to do videos, or the lighting wasn't right, or it didn't matter. There was just a million reasons why my video was like this mountain I had to climb in order to get to the other side. And you become aware of that. So the main thing is bringing awareness to it. There's no wrong way, wrong choice, or wrong decision in this, because ultimately you'll learn from any of them if you can bring awareness to it. So it's more about bringing awareness to this process, so that way you can discern and work with the energy and work with your higher self and work with your intuition, and know that there is ultimately no wrong way. It's just another opportunity for you to tap in and tune in to what your guidance is trying to tell you. So I hope this information, you know, serves you. I hope you're able to apply it to your daily life right now, and maybe use this as a guide to sort of help decipher some of the decisions that you're making. I hope this helps and makes a little bit of sense for you, because I know I talk a lot and it took me a while to get all my thoughts out. But I'd love any feedback if this video helped, or if you have any experience working with your own intuition, any feedback at all. And again, my website, if you're not already watching this video on my site, my website is sarah-rose.net, and there you can get a free self-healing toolkit filled with guided meditations and all sorts of goodies, as well as a high vibe lifestyle guide that I just released, which gives you 30 ways to clean up your energy vibration. Because everything that you're manifesting in your reality right now is directly tied to the vibration that you're offering. And I talk a lot about that on that document that I'll give you for free, and also in my upcoming masterclass, which you can register or pre-register for on my site. Again, sarah-rose.net. And I hope to talk to you soon, and tune in with me again next Wednesday. Namaste.